Hi there, my name is Sean Bancroft, and I will be presenting on do animals help with anxiety? Stress is a normal occurrence that everyone deals with in everyday life, but it can also lead to things that we are less aware of, such as anxiety. Long periods of stress can actually lead to clinical anxiety. Now, one might wonder then, what exactly is anxiety? Dr. Angelo Sambanaris helps clearly illustrate the difference between the two by writing, stress and anxiety, although are not inherently the same. While they share many symptoms, the difference is that stress is a response to a situation and anxiety is a reaction to that stress. Stress is something that comes about due to a specific situation, such as an upcoming rent bill or a big final coming up. Anxiety would be if that feeling did not go away, even after you've paid your bill or taken that final or whatever situation has concluded. However, that feeling continues indefinitely. So the way that stress works is your body will release what we call stress hormones, mainly cortisol, throughout your body. Now, cortisol will act as a form of a kickstart or a boost to help you reach another level of energy where you can deal with a potential threat or new challenge that you are facing. Essentially, your energy levels will be increased. Your heart rate will increase as well, and your muscles will also tighten. So these are some statistics on how prevalent anxiety really is. And according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, roughly 19% over the age of 18-year-olds are affected by an anxiety disorder. And this comes out to roughly 40 million people. And according to a separate study conducted by Justin Hines, who is an assistant professor of health, behavior, and health education at the University of Michigan, roughly 47% of college students tested showed some form of anxiety disorder. Now, this data is pulled from 36 different universities across the country, and it polls about 32,000 students as well. So it's not a small sample size. Now, you may be looking at those statistics and thinking, I didn't realize that it was so prevalent. But when you look at it really and consider that long periods of stress, again, can lead to various forms of anxiety, this starts to make a little bit more sense, right? Students often have to choose between sleeping well and exercising, with completing all of their obligations for the week, such as going to class, working a part-time job, homework, studying, and so on. There are so many things in college life that contribute to a very stressful environment for students. So now we're on to benefits. So now that we have a more general understanding of how stress and anxiety work and intertwine with one another, we get to the reason behind this presentation, and that is to find out whether or not having pets or animals as pets contributes to lowering levels of anxiety. And the short answer for that is yes. One study by Washington State University Associate Professor of Human Development, Patricia Pendry, reads, quote, just 10 minutes can have a significant impact. Students in our study that interacted with cats and dogs had a significant reduction in cortisol, a major stress hormone, end quote. And so this study is speaking about essentially what University of Oregon does as well, where they bring dogs on campus during finals week, and they conducted 10 minutes each day to see if that would have any effect, and it had very clear effects. So taking that into account, people are social animals, just like dogs and cats, and having this form of social stimulation helps greatly decrease stress long term. And not only are your levels of cortisol reduced having a pet, but there are also many other benefits with long-term anxiety. such as exercise. Exercising while walking your dog or cat or whatever animal can have positive impacts for depression, which is also tied greatly back to anxiety. So relating this back to Anthropology 274, we look at the social support theory, and that is anything that provides social support or a belonging to some group or community is this theory. Oh, sorry. And we are social animals, but again, as are dogs and cats. And this kind of ties into the next hypothesis, which is the biophilia hypothesis by E.O. Wilson. And this is that humans and other animals are drawn towards one another because of a mutually beneficial friend relationship, which initially was much more cut and dry. It was animals would help the human with hunting and protecting. Meanwhile, the human would provide shelter and food. But now this is becoming more, in my opinion, especially that the animals are helping reduce stress and anxiety levels for the people. So yes, having animals does in fact help reduce your levels of anxiety. And then these are my references. This is the first set, and then the second set as well. Thank you.